President and CEO Paul Cowley here to introduce you to Phenom Resources, a wonderful situation in Nevada. I've been following now for quite some time. They have a high-grade vanadium and a gold asset, a gold resource that's looking very well. They're both together. One is on top of the other, which is very unique. And in this area of the world, in Nevada, success looks very promising. So with that, I'll turn it over to Paul.
Phenom Resources had a fantastic year in 2018. We were ranked the second best performing mining stock on the Venture Exchange, second only to Great Bear. And that's because we were delivering outstanding results on our vanadium deposit in Nevada during a time of excellent vanadium prices. We went up to $2 twice in that year. Vanadium prices sagged, as things normally do, but we kept busy. We saw the opportunity to add value. We pushed forward on a resource, delivered a resource that's now the largest, highest grade vanadium resource in North America. We delivered a PEA on that, and we continued on, and we saw an opportunity in gold, discovered a very, very large-scale Carlin-type gold system underneath the vanadium resource. So now I think we were actually extremely well positioned, because I'm excited to tell you about the wave that's coming on that vanadium is going to be a very, very significant part. And this is not on the steel side where vanadium has been used before. This is on the electrification side of things. This is a wave that I think we want to catch early, and I think we are early. The investors that see these opportunities and the trends are going to benefit. I am going to be making forward-looking statements, but let me introduce the company briefly. We're very unique. We've got a very strong story, very solid one, and very topical. Our share structure, we have just under 83 million shares, roughly about 40% American shareholders, 60% Canadian shareholders, have about $2.8 million cash in the treasury. Now, we've got an outstanding group of people. Everyone says that, but I could spend 10 minutes describing how great our group is. American and Canadian professional engineers and geologists that know how to work a project, advance a project. And just as a glimpse into that base of people, we have 2 geologists that have made 10 gold deposit discoveries in their career, more than 12 million ounces of gold. You just don't find that kind of accomplishment and skill sets in a junior company. And I could go on about our engineering group, but I just don't have time. So we're located in Nevada, which is one of the best jurisdictions in the world. We focused on this flagship property, the Carlin Vanadium Project, Carlin Vanadium Gold Project. We spent over $15 million on it. And this is it's a unique situation where, as Greg said, there's a vanadium resource right at surface, and below that, and this vanadium is in the top 80 meters, so it's an open pitable situation. Below that, we've discovered, through the help of Dave Matheson, who is a mine finder and well-known in the Carlin Trend, an outstanding explorer, we've discovered a large-scale Carlin system underneath it, below 300 meters. We're continuing to work on that. But in one way, it's not so unique, because I know of 2 other circumstances geologically where that happens, and it's in the Carlin Trend. There was actually a vanadium deposit above Gold Quarry. That's a 40 million ounce gold deposit, and Gold Strike, 60 million ounce gold deposit. Very, very curious. I've mentioned we've got a PEA on our vanadium deposit. We've got two-pronged approach. We're exploring for gold, looking for that high-grade gold intercept. We're vectoring towards that with the aid of Dave Matheson. But ultimately, we want to be a producer of vanadium to feed the large energy storage market that's about to happen. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. This is very important to grasp some of these concepts here. Now, everyone knows that electrification is gaining momentum. We've seen it in the EV space, lithium prices, et cetera, and the building of these mega factories for batteries and lithium. It's a way of the future. But I want to make sure that people understand there's two sort of segments of that battery industry. There's the smaller scale EV and smaller energy storage systems that lithium is perfect for. But it's not at all good for large energy storage. This is for wind and solar projects, microgrids, backup power for grid. In that industry, the large stationary battery industry is huge, and it's accelerating. It's a $10 billion industry. They expect it to be a $100 billion industry by the end of this decade. The U.S. government expects the U.S. to be the largest, in 2 years, the largest buyer or market for large storage energy. And the distinction I want to make sure everyone understood, a lot of people that have followed this story, understood that vanadium batteries are superior in a lot of in performance and lifestyle or life length of 25 year plus, where lithium degrades over time. You got to discard it. There's a recyclability to it. There's a safety aspect that there's no fires or explosions like that happen in lithium batteries, but also now, because lithium has done so well and the price has gone up 5 times since September, it's outpriced itself in this large battery system. There's nothing out there except vanadium that's going to fill that space. That's why we're super excited, having the largest, highest grade vanadium deposit in North America. And the U.S. is looking for and spending tons of money on the battery chain, on the battery chain in the U.S. Biden is putting out $7 billion in that space, and we're looking to actually go after grant money like that. There's a lot about our project that I would like to talk further with you. I can't do it in 10 minutes. Q&A is going to help, but please come there or to my booth. But I just wanted to get that out because it's a really, it's early stage, and I think that this is a wave of that vanadium is going to exceed very well, and the company as well. Location of the project, very quickly, I don't have much time here, but we're right in the Carlin Trend of Nevada. It's a very significant gold producing trend, 100 million ounces of gold, but all that infrastructure, we're on just off I-80 by 6 miles, railhead at Carlin. All those communities are steeped socially and business-wise, support the mining industry, because that's where Barrick and Newmont grew up. And we're very close to their operations. This is a picture of the valley where the vanadium is. It comes right to surface and in the top 80 meters. So we've got a resource that's 80% indicated, very high quality one. It's high grade. It's the largest, highest grade vanadium deposit in North America, large scale and open. And this summer we're going to spend more time because we see it adding more value by going after expanding the resource. That'll just add more value for our shareholders. We did a PEA. It's a 20-year project life, but we see it as expanding the resource. We're able to do it. It'll probably be a much longer life. And the cost from the PEA, the cost of mining and producing the vanadium to provide to the battery sector is half of the current price of vanadium. So we're in a good position. This just illustrates that same point. We're in that lower quartile of costs relative to all these producers around the world. And that's a great place to be. It protects yourself against cycles in vanadium prices. Now I got to shift to the gold. This is a very exciting one. It's taking us a little bit longer than we expected to find that high-grade intercept, but we have defined through Dave Matheson, who is an outstanding explorer. He's probably the top 5 in the world on this type of deposit. He's found 6 gold deposits of this type within 5 and 10 kilometers of our property, and he's leading our charge on that. He was the one that conceptualized this target, and sure enough, it's there, and it's in the right rocks too. It's important to know. It's in the rocks that host the monster deposits in the Carlin Trend. And we are on one of those repeated system of structures that are repeated across that 50-mile stretch of Carlin. So we're in a very, very prolific part with all the ingredients for finding gold. I'm afraid I'm not going to have much time to talk about it, but this is the southern part of the trend. 9 million ounces of gold already known in that area. We're on a north-south structure. We've got all the ingredients, we've got intercepts that show this system 6.5 kilometers long, half a kilometer wide, and half a kilometer of continuous gold mineralization. It's low grade, but a system that large has to have feeder systems. Dave says they all do, and that's what we need to, that's what we're vectoring towards. We've done 14 holes now. We've got a very good idea of the architecture of this system and a lot of information to be able to vector towards the hotspots. And that's what we'll be planning on doing this summer. Working on the gold one, doing more drilling on the vanadium. We see a lot of value coming up, a lot of triggers for this year that we can, that our shareholders will benefit from. And I'd love to spend more time with you. Please come to the booth or the Q&A. Thank you very much for your time.